Hi, my name is Alex, and welcome to the Upgrade Show on TSL Nigeria TV. Yes, it's good to be here again, and today we're going to have something interesting for you. So, the topic for today is the brand called you. So, sit back, relax, and don't go anywhere. Now, that is a limiting belief. Take massive action. So you must get so excellent at what you do that people will literally predict. Trust me, you need to leave good behind so you upgrade. Hi, welcome again to the Upgrade Show. I remain your host, OSAGIE Alex. So welcome back. Now, today we're talking about the brand called you. You know, many of us are accustomed to different kind of brands. I don't want to mention some names. So we are used to brand, especially from when we were growing up as kids. So we got used to different kind of brands that we see in our homes and we see among our friends. But the truth is, one brand that many people do not really give a care about is the brand called you, which is yourself. You are a brand. And in that way, you need to give yourself the value that the brand can communicate. So for instance, let's take this example. I know many of you are football lovers, so you probably would know Cristiano Ronaldo. So when Cristiano Ronaldo moved from Real Madrid and went to Juventus, he left with over 150 something followers. And right now, Ronaldo stands at over 200 million followers on Instagram. Guess what? Because of that number of followers I had as a personal brand, 11 million followers followed Juventus when he became a Juventus player. One man attracted 11 million followers to a club. How is that possible? Because he's a personal brand. Another thing that happened for him was when he moved to Juve, his jerseys sold 512,000 units on the first day. Now, you see, in football, they don't just buy the player because of the talent. They buy the player because of the brand that the player brings, because of the personal brand that the player has. In fact, some clubs actually sign up players because of the brand that they come to the club with, that they attract to the club. So, which means that because that person is a personal brand, he knows the value that he brings and he offers. Now, how do we get to that point? Very simple steps that I'm going to share with you that will help you get to that point of being an amazing personal brand. Number one, you have to grow yourself. You have to grow yourself. Now, you don't become a personal brand because you're a human being. You become a personal brand because you are a human being that is growing, and not just physically, growing all around, mentally, spiritually, financially, relationship-wise, and mentally. You're all growing in every area. And the more you grow, the more value that your personal brand can command. So you see some people, they will sell the same product for a certain amount. And another person, because of the personal brand that that person carries, he sells that same product for way higher. What's the difference? Is the personal brand that they have. And why are they able to do that? One, they've been able to grow themselves to that level. So as you develop yourself, what you're actually doing, you're increasing the value of your personal brand. Sooner than later, people will begin to respect that brand that you have. So for some people, their name is a personal brand. So when you call a certain name, it commands a certain level of respect, a certain level of value, a certain level of authority, because they built it to that point. It doesn't just happen. They've been able to grow themselves to that point. So the next thing that happens when you're building your personal brand is the value you want to be associated with. And for those of us in the coaching space, we talk about you finding a niche. So you have to pick an area where you want to deploy your value and the value you want to communicate in that personal brand. So you cannot be everything. So for some people, they try to say, okay, I'm into this, I'm into that. You water down the effect of your personal brand, because when it comes to picking among the people who are in that particular field, you will not be called because you are not even rated among the best. So what you need to do is to know the value that you bring and stick to that particular area of value so that it increases your personal brand. So then, for instance, let's say you're a speaker. I always like using the speaker example. So you know you're a speaker. So you develop a niche for yourself in your speaking. So you're not the one who talks about relationship. You're not the one who talks about sex. You're not the one who talks about religion. You pick an area that you know, okay, you can build your personal brand on. So when anytime that particular area is mentioned, your name comes to mind. Why? Because you have been able to build value in that particular area. And over time, you can be able to command a certain fee, a certain price, because you have built value over time. So you grow yourself, you build value. That's how you grow your personal brand. And then the last thing you do when you grow your personal brand is something I've talked about before on the show, is that you have to be dice while you're on this. Yes, you have to be dice. And on that, you have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional, you have to be consistent, and you have to be excellent. That way, you are building your personal brand. So the same Ronaldo example I used earlier, he's diligent in what he does. So when the other teammates will probably have left the training ground, he stays back to put in some more hours into his training, practicing free kicks, practicing how he shoots and everything. He's still doing that. What is he trying to do? He's trying to be diligent on his craft. And then he's intentional. He focuses on his craft alone. So he's not busy trying to do music. He's not busy trying to shoot movies. He just focuses on playing football and improving himself on his craft. So he's intentional. And then he's consistent. Over time, he has remained, for the past decade, himself and Lionel Messi have been the one taking the Ballon d'Or back to back. Why? He's been so consistent with his personal brand that even though he has left several clubs, he has moved from Man United to Real Madrid, now he's Juventus, he's still doing what he's known to do. Why? He's consistent. He still scores as many goals as he can in a season. He's consistent, and then he brings in excellence to the table. He's excellent at what he does. So while you're building your personal brand, these are the things you have to put into consideration and always stick to them. First, you have to grow yourself. Nobody's responsible for your growth but you. Next, you have to increase your value. So figure out a way where you need to improve your value. Pick a space where you need to deploy your value and you'll be known in that particular field. And then you have to be dice while you're at it. You have to be diligent. You have to be intentional, you have to be consistent, and you have to be excellent. And like I always tell people, that the brand called you will be developed by you. Nobody's coming to help you build your personal brand. Nobody's coming to help you improve your personal brand. All the work needed on your personal brand will be done by you and you alone. So you have to get up and do the work, because this brand is you. And the value that this brand commands is up to you. So what are you going to do? You have to sit up, you have to take responsibility, and you have to start your journey on building your personal brand. See, the name that you have, if you build it the right way, it can begin to open doors for other people, because that name is not just a name anymore. It is now a personal brand. People will want to associate with that name. People will want to do business with that name. People will be proud that they know the person who bears that name, because he has grown his personal brand. And that can be you, because you are the first brand ambassador of yourself. So build your brand. Before people come to your space, you should have built your brand and grow your brand to a certain level, so that when people start coming, it's just a plus because of what you've already been doing. So this is where we draw the curtain today on the show. And I hope that you're going to take action with what you've learned, because basically this brand called you must be developed by you. So I believe that you've learned something, and I believe that you put to practice what you've learned and start your journey on your personal brand. And trust me, before the year is over, you will look back and be happy that you actually started working on your personal brand and you're beginning to enjoy the benefit that comes with that personal brand that you are building. So I'll see you again next week. And until then, don't forget to follow us and turn on post notifications on TSL TV Nigeria so you don't get to miss any of the episodes of the Upgrade Show. Like I always tell you, there is more on the upgrade side of life. So leave good behind, build your personal brand, and we'll see where it leads you to.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.